You're the smartest person in rooms that don't deserve your intelligence, and it's killing you, not the stupidity itself. You can handle ignorance. What's killing you is your compulsion to correct it, to explain, to educate people who have no interest in being educated. You think you're defending truth, but really you're bleeding energy into arguments with people who mistake confidence for competence. And every time you engage, you lose. Not because you're wrong, but because you're playing a game where the rules reward volume over accuracy. You feel it in your body when someone says something painfully wrong. Your jaw tightens. Your pulse quickens. Your mind immediately starts constructing the perfect rebuttal. The exact words that would dismantle their argument, the evidence they're ignoring, the logic they're missing. And you can't help yourself. You jump in, you correct them, you explain why they're wrong and why it matters. And they look at you like you're the problem. Like you're being difficult, like you're overreacting. Meanwhile, they get to stay comfortable in their wrongness, while you're the one who looks angry, defensive, exhausting. This is the trap you live in, not stupidity itself, but your need to fix it. Your inability to let incorrect statements exist in the world without your annotation. Your belief that if you just explain it clearly enough, logically enough, patiently enough, they'll understand. They'll see reason. They'll admit they were wrong and thank you for the education. But they never do. Because people who are confidently wrong aren't looking for correction. They're looking for confirmation. And when you offer them facts instead, they don't hear information. They hear an attack. So they double down. They get defensive. They move the goalposts. They bring up irrelevant points. They question your tone instead of addressing your argument. And suddenly, you're not discussing the original issue anymore. You're defending your right to have pointed it out in the first place. This is what happens every time. At work, when a colleague makes a blatantly false claim in a meeting and everyone just nods along, you can't let it slide. You have to interject with the actual data, the correct timeline, the real numbers, and instead of gratitude, you get eye rolls. Instead of respect, you get labelled as difficult. The person who always has to be right. The one who can't just let things go. Or online, when you see someone spreading misinformation. You know you should scroll past. You know engaging is pointless. But you can't. You write a careful, sourced response, explaining why they're wrong. And they either ignore you completely, mock your effort, or respond with something so aggressively stupid that you realize you've just wasted 15 minutes of your life arguing with someone who thinks anecdotes are evidence. Or in social settings, when someone confidently declares something false about history, science, politics, whatever, and everyone just accepts it because they don't know better or don't care enough to check. And you're sitting there with the actual information, feeling obligated to correct the record. So you do. Politely. Factually. And the room goes quiet. Not because you've enlightened them, but because you've made everyone uncomfortable by caring about accuracy more than they care about harmony. This pattern costs you more than you realize. It's not just the time spent arguing. It's the reputation you're building as someone who's smart, but exhausting. Correct, but unpleasant. Right, but not worth inviting to casual gatherings, because you'll turn every conversation into a lecture. You're losing social capital, arguing with people who will never change their minds. You're spending emotional energy on battles that don't advance anything except your own frustration. You're making correctness your personality, and it's isolating you from people who would otherwise value you. And here's the worst part, they win. Because they get to stay stupid and comfortable. They get to maintain their worldview without effort. They get to dismiss you as arrogant or pedantic. Meanwhile, you're the one left angry, tired, and increasingly bitter about how little people seem to care about being right. Why do you do this? Why can't you just let stupid people be stupid and move on with your day? Let's dissect the mechanism. It starts with how you were raised. If you grew up in an environment where intelligence was your value, where being smart was how you earned approval, respect, love, then correctness became your identity. You learned that knowing things made you matter, that having the right answer gave you worth, that intelligence was your competitive advantage in a world that felt unpredictable or unsafe. So now, when someone is wrong, it's not just incorrect information you're witnessing. It's a threat to the thing that makes you valuable. If stupidity can be rewarded with the same or more respect than intelligence, then what's the point of all the effort you put into being right? If ignorance can be confident and comfortable, then your years of reading, learning, thinking, analyzing, what did any of that earn you? This is why it feels personal. Because in your mind, letting someone be wrong without correction is like admitting that intelligence doesn't matter, that effort doesn't matter, that you don't matter. The second reason you can't stop correcting people is that you're operating under a false belief that people care about truth as much as you do. You assume that everyone shares your value system, that when presented with evidence, rational people adjust their views, that facts speak for themselves, that correctness is self-evident. But that's not how most people work. Most people don't form opinions based on evidence. They collect evidence to support opinions they already have. They're not seeking truth. They're seeking confirmation. And when you show up with contradictory information, you're not offering them education. You're threatening their identity, their tribe, their comfort. So they reject you. Not because you're wrong, but because you're inconvenient. And in that moment, they care more about maintaining their worldview than about being accurate. Your facts don't matter to them. Your logic doesn't persuade them. Your patience doesn't earn their respect. You're just an obstacle to their comfort, and they'll dismiss you to preserve it. The third reason, and this is the one that cuts deepest, is that correcting stupid people makes you feel powerful. It's one of the few places where you get to be unambiguously right, where your intelligence is on full display, where you can prove definitively that you know more than someone else. In a world where intelligence often goes unrewarded, where hard work doesn't guarantee success, where mediocre people rise while brilliant ones stagnate. Arguing with fools is the one arena where you can win easily, where you can feel superior without ambiguity, where the hierarchy is clear and you're at the top. But here's the problem. You're not winning. You're performing. You're using stupid people as props in a play where you get to be the protagonist of correctness. And the cost of that performance is that you're constantly engaged with people who drain you. You're spending your energy on proving you're smart instead of doing things that actually demonstrate it. This is the mechanism of your suffering. You think you're suffering because the world is full of stupid people, but you're actually suffering because you keep engaging with them. You keep treating their ignorance like a problem you're responsible for solving. You keep burning your resources on battles that don't advance your life, your goals, or your peace. You're addicted to being right in front of the wrong people. And that addiction is making you weaker, not stronger, angrier, not calmer, more isolated, not more respected. But here's what no one told you. Your intelligence is wasted on people who can't recognize it. And your calm is worth more than your correctness. Here's the strategy. It's not about being nicer. It's not about dumbing yourself down. It's about recognizing that engagement is the prize, and you're giving it away for free to people who don't deserve it. Step 1, pause. The moment someone says something aggressively stupid, your body will react. Your mind will start building the counter-argument. You'll feel the urge to jump in, to correct, to educate. That's the trigger. That's the moment where you usually lose yourself. Don't speak yet. Just pause. Count to 3 in your head. Let the stupid statement hang in the air. Let other people respond if they want. Let the silence do the work you usually do with words. Because here's what happens when you pause. You create space between the stupidity and your reaction. And in that space, you get to choose whether this is worth your energy. Most of the time, it's not. Most of the time, correcting this person will change nothing except your blood pressure. Most of the time, the smart move is to say nothing at all. Because silence isn't agreement. It's just refusal to participate in a conversation that has no value. Step 2, smile once. This is critical. When you decide not to engage, when you choose to let the stupidity stand uncorrected, you need a physical gesture that signals your choice. A slight smile, not mocking, not cruel. Just a small acknowledgement that you heard them and you're choosing not to respond. This does 2 things. First, it keeps you from looking angry or uncomfortable. It maintains your composure while everyone else is expecting you to react. Second, it subtly communicates that you're above this, that you're not bothered, that their wrongness isn't worth your effort. And here's the thing. Stupid people know when they're wrong. On some level, even the most confidently incorrect person has a sense that they're on shaky ground. They're just betting that no one will challenge them. And when you smile instead of engaging, when you demonstrate that you're unbothered by their ignorance, it creates doubt. Not doubt about their position, they'll cling to that, but doubt about whether they successfully provoked you. because that's what this is really about. Stupid people who say stupid things loudly are looking for a reaction. They want to be taken seriously. They want attention. They want someone smart to engage with them, because that makes them feel important. And by refusing to play, you deny them that satisfaction. Step 3. Walk away. Physically, if possible. Conversationally, if not. Don't linger. Don't wait to see if they'll say something even dumber. Don't hope that someone else will correct them, so you don't have to. Just exit. This is where you reclaim your power. Because walking away isn't retreat. It's boundary enforcement. It's saying, my time is too valuable to spend on this. It's choosing your peace over their education. And that choice is what separates people who control their environment from people who are controlled by it. When you walk away, you stop being reactive. You stop letting other people's stupidity dictate how you spend your emotional resources. You stop making yourself available for arguments that benefit no one. You take back the energy you've been hemorrhaging into pointless conflicts and redirect it toward things that actually matter. This will feel uncomfortable at first. You'll feel guilty for not correcting them. You'll worry that their wrongness will spread unchecked. You'll convince yourself that you're being irresponsible by staying silent. But that's just your ego trying to justify its addiction to being right. The truth is, you're not responsible for educating adults who don't want to learn. You're not obligated to correct every false statement you encounter. You're not the guardian of truth in rooms full of people who don't value it. And pretending you are is just a way of making yourself feel important while actually making yourself exhausted. Here's what changes when you master this. When you stop correcting fools and start conserving your intelligence for people who deserve it. First, you get quieter, not because you have less to say, but because you realize how much noise you were making trying to fix things that weren't yours to fix. You stop feeling compelled to speak up every time someone is wrong. You let incorrect statements pass without your annotation. And in that restraint, you start noticing who else stays quiet. The other smart people in the room who already learned this lesson. The ones who don't need to prove their intelligence by constantly correcting others. Second, your presence becomes heavier. When you're not talking all the time, when you're not constantly jumping in to correct and explain, people start paying more attention when you do speak. Your words carry more weight because they're rarer. Your input becomes sought after instead of expected. You stop being the person who always has something to say and become the person whose opinion actually matters. Third, you stop being angry, because anger comes from trying to control things you can't control. And you can't control whether other people value accuracy, intelligence, or truth. But you can control whether you waste your energy trying to convince them to care. And when you stop doing that, when you stop burning yourself out on battles that don't advance your life, you get your calm back. You realize that stupid people will continue being stupid whether you intervene or not, that your correctness doesn't change their trajectory, that the world is full of wrong information and wrong people, and your job isn't to fix all of it. Your job is to build a life where their wrongness doesn't touch you. You'll know the shift is real when someone says something blatantly false and you feel nothing. No urge to correct. No tension in your chest. No mental construction of the perfect rebuttal. Just quiet recognition that they're wrong and you're unbothered. That their ignorance is theirs to carry, not yours to fix. This is what emotional economy looks like. You stop spending energy on people who can't appreciate it. You stop using your intelligence to win arguments with people who measure success by volume, not accuracy. You stop making stupidity your problem and start making your peace your priority. And the beautiful irony is this: the less you engage with stupid people, the more powerful you become. Because power isn't about being right. It's about being selective with where you invest your attention. It's about walking away from fights you don't need to win. It's about staying calm in rooms where everyone else is losing their minds. Your calm isn't neutral. It's threatening, because it shows that you're operating on a different level, that you're not bothered by things that bother everyone else, that you have better things to do than argue with people who won't listen. So let them be wrong. Let them be loud. Let them be confidently incorrect without your correction. And smile once, because you know something they don't. That the smartest thing you can do around stupid people is nothing at all. Your intelligence is too valuable to spend on people who mistake your silence for agreement. Let them think what they want. You have better things to build.